Hi, welcome to this particular session on strings. So strings is nothing but a collection of actually characters, okay, or collection of character arrays. So why we are discussing strings, mostly after function and pointers. So typically because in this particular session and also from the array, because as I was telling you, string is a collection of characters, and when I say collection of characters, okay, then that collection can be stored in an array, okay. Apart from that, string can be represented using pointers also, right? And we can passes the strings in the function also. That's the reason why I made myself the entire session of strings to be discussed after array, pointers and function. Apart from that, strings plays a very important role whenever you go for interview, because whenever if you are uh, mostly if you are appearing for interview, then they will maybe asking you questions on strings. Typically, when you say I am very proficient in, or I'm very well known in C programming. So now let us go more detail into the strings, okay? And okay, so string usually it's a collection of character and it's a 1D array of type character. Okay, and always remember the string is always terminated by a null character. Yes, you can see the null character, how it is represented slash zero itself and all. So now character, if I write like this, character as 21 can have variable length string delimited with slash zero, okay, which we can it call it as a null character. Now the thing is, what does it mean variable length? Now S21, in S21 I can store, suppose say BU as bus. I can store Bhupesh, which is of 7 character. I can store today is beautiful. So you can have around something like 10, 12 character. So maximum length that I can store here is 20, and rest one will be taken by the null character. Okay, so that is what means by variable length itself, right? Typically you should never get confused that if I write character as 21, that means I should have a string of size 20, means there will be 20 characters followed by a null character. No, it's not like that. If I write character as 21, 20 is the maximum length that you can go, but you can have some kind of minimal length. Like you can store A also, you can store triple A also, right? Oh, yes, as I was telling you, can tell Rupesh also. Okay. Now, if I write like this, okay, hello in double quote and ABC in double quote, then we see say these are nothing but the string constant, constants, okay. And this is nothing, it is also considered as a character of size 4, because ABC you can see 3 character followed by, I was telling this particular the null character itself. So let us tell again that string is nothing but a collection of characters. It is a 1D array of type character. Always a string is terminated by the null character, and when you declare, okay, the very, because it should be the data type character, and then you have a name of the array itself. As I was telling you, in similar convention of declaring an array of type character itself, right? And if I have S21, that means you can have a variable length string. So I can have a string of length 2, 5, 10, like this. I gave some example also, right? And it is always delimited by this null character. And if I write in double quote, like hello ABC, these are called string constants. And if you say ABC, it is of a character array, right? Of size 4, because 3 ABC together it will 3, and followed by the null character. So having said this, let us see one more example. Like we can store like this, each of these character, let them the name of visit, you can store like this, character C8 of visit, or each of this character followed by the null character. Now we can say C of 0 is A, 1 is B, 2 is H, 3 is I, 4 is J, 5 is I, 6 is T, right? And 7, suppose say, is the slash n, right? And as we know in C, the array start from the index 0. That is the reason why C0. Okay, right? And we know that there should be a null character. Yes. Okay. So this is one way which you can initialize a character. okay, array itself, like each of this character, or you can directly put into double quote, okay, right? And now you see I have not put this null character, so automatically C will put the null character. That you should have to understand, okay, right? Now if I mention a single character, then I will putting in a single quote, and when I am putting an array of character, I was putting in the double quote. So that you need to also remember, right? So the two ways to which we analyze is, we can put each character wise one, and then we can follow by the null character, or directly we can put it as a string itself, like a widget itself, and you don't have to put the null character. Yes. And now if you mention it in this like character, right? So C0 represent 1, C1 represent B, like the 2, and in till 7 we have the null character. Yes. Now if you see this declaration, you don't have a null character, it automatically will going to put the null character, okay, right? So individual character is in single quote, and the string will goes in a double quote itself. Okay, now let us take an example. How to read a string. We will be using this percentage as format. So I declare a character array, and I give size is 25, name, scanf percentage as name, and then printf name percentage as. Now if I enter Bhupesh, the output will be Bhupesh itself. Okay, right? So the format that we use in order to read a string is percentage as, and we declared as nothing. We remember a character, right? So character name 25. That is the size of this. Okay. So scanf percentage as name, and name equal to percentage as slash and name itself. Okay, right? So as read the string into the character array given the array name or the starting address. So name as the starting address, right? And it ends the string with the null character. And you can see we have not put the ampersand also. Okay, right? Because the name itself will be the address itself. Okay. So similarly, I've written a program out here. Yes, let me give an input string as a and the Ananda, and I want to count the number of a years, and we get number of a is equal to 3. See, I have given in capital. Okay, so this I have put in small, but please understand this name should be in it should be in the small. Okay, let me change it so that otherwise you will not. There has to be, because the way we have done is like that. Okay, so let me put it here. Okay, right, so let me save it. Great. So now Ananda, now we will be having 3, because you can see the logic here written, if name of I is equal to a is equal to count plus plus. So what I am doing, first initially it is pointing to a, so name of 0 is a. Okay, count will increment to 1, count will increment to 1, then and no, again a, increment by 2, no, no, 3, again the count is incremented by 3. Okay, right? So this is something like, okay, a small example where I am inserting I am taking a string, okay, and then I with the for loop, still we are not getting the slash, the last character. I am just traversing this for loop, and I'm counting the number of a that is there in the string. Okay, so because we know the string is always terminated by null character, so the last character is null. So whenever I reach the null character, I'm stopping out this loop. Okay, now what is the difference between array and pointer? Now if I declare like this, okay, as ABC or like this, then when memory will completely allocate, okay, 6 bytes, because 1 2 3 4 5, and last one is complete memory of 6 bytes, means we use of we allocate some memory for the array of size 6 character. Now if I like this star p abc, then abc will be located somewhere in the memory, okay, where p will be initialized with the base address of the string constant. So this A, B, C, D, whatever base address will be have, will be stored in P. Okay, right? So that is what the entire difference between the, here you can see it is directly ABC, right? And the memory is allocated, right? We have a memory allocated. But here memory, this will be allocated from the memory, okay, somewhere else, okay, and this P will be initialized with the base address of A. right? So this is something like this. Is P is pointing to A, and here S is nothing but we have this particular, array string itself, right? Okay. So a string constant is also treated as a pointer. So if I write, ABC star character star P, right? Now I increment the pointer P by 1, then the value that will come is nothing but BC. So I've given an example like here, printf percentage as percentage slash n P plus 1. Okay. So P is pointing to ABC, so it will print ABC. Okay. Then after P plus 1, it goes to B, and that's why we have the BC to be printed. Okay. Fine. So now you have understood. So string constant is also constant is also treated as a pointer, and I gave an example like this, right? So you can see P is pointing to the first character of the string itself, which is the base address, right? So if I really want to increase from from P to B, so I'm doing by P plus 1, and as a result I got ABC, and then I got BC to be printed itself. So string, let me revisit again. String is nothing but a collection of characters, a 1D of the array of type, character itself, and all the strings, the size of the strings always all the string will be terminated by a null character. Okay, and if the size of the string is equal to the size of character, including the null character itself. Okay, right. So that is uh, we the definition of string itself. Okay, and then we have seen that how to declare a string. So simply you write the character, the name of the string, and what is the size and all, right? And we know that as through two ways to initialize the string is this. Okay, let me go back and show you. So two way to initialize the string is this. One with simple character itself. So C0 gets A, C1 gets B. Another is directly write the string in double quote. Obviously, this will be followed by the slash, uh, 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 okay, the null character itself. Okay, so simply we use percentage as format in order to store the value in the string using scanf function. Then I showed you a small program when I want to count the number of a character in that particular string itself. So simple, I had looked a for loop I equal to 0, name I not equal to null I plus plus if name I is equal to a small a, and then we increase the counter. Okay, so initially counter is 0, so here it will the value of total counter is nothing but the 3 it will come. Okay, right. So this array and pointers, we can have a pointer, and when you have a string constant, that will be located somewhere in the memory itself, and P will be pointing to nothing but the base address, right? Okay, or the first character. Similarly, if I declare an as of structure itself, okay, then you this is one way. Another is A B C D E and then slash null character itself. So the here compiler allocates 6 bytes of memory for each for the array s, which are initialized with 6 characters. So these are initialized with 6 characters, right? So you can understand the difference. Here, if you simply character array, you will have a 6, or you have a some byte of memory to be stored and all these things. But whenever you have a pointer type and all these things, so you have to understand that content like ABCD is stored somewhere other in the memory itself. Okay. So having said this, we move into the that string constant itself. Okay, the string constant is also treated as a string. So we have seen that character star equal to ABC, right? So percentage as will give ABC, and if I increment P, it's pointing to A, right? Then it will go to B, so it will be BC, right? So that is what about string. So in the next session, we'll be talking about more on some kind of library string functions. Thank you, and do keep watching my video and kindly share with your friends. Thanks a lot.